Do you need a good carnivore bread loaf? I've finally got the answer. No more memory foam. It's time for Chris Cookin' Nashville carnivore bread. All right, y'all, I am here with my lovely wife, Miss Ash Taylor, and she is about to try my carnivore loaf of white bread. How excited are you for this?
I think that you love me, and I don't think that you would serve me something that tastes like styrofoam. I've tried other, can I say bread substitutes? Is that a word? I've not liked them.
Yeah.
So I have faith in you that you're not going to let me down and serve me something that tastes like cardboard. I'm going into this with an open mind. Prove me wrong.
Well, guys, this is the carnivore white bread. It is puffy and it is just textured like white bread. I've had a lot of people asking me to come up with something like this, and I've been working on it, trying to come up with the right idea, and I think we've got it. I'm going to do a couple of things for her here, but before I do anything, I'm just going to
Well, would you look at that?
just give it a little nibble just by itself and just see what you think of that.
You've already like kind of restored my faith though, because it literally is like this soft like bread part, and then there's like this crust.
Right.
And look at it like flex and actually like move.
Right.
Oh wow. Wow, that was good. There's zero egg flavor. It actually tastes like bread. This part, I have no idea how you got that texture. Wow, that is so good.
Shout out to all of the people who have been pioneers at creating egg white breads. I have learned so much from them, but this is the kicker, because every egg white bread I have always been disappointed with because I just feel like it doesn't work like regular bread. It's very difficult to do anything like Texas toast or like a grilled cheese or any of that kind of butter toasted bread that's in a pan. I'm gonna do it for you guys. I've got this beautiful little induction cooker that a couple of my Patreon members were so kind to get me a couple of these so I can upgrade the channel. I'm gonna put the link down below of the Amazon list of things that I'm working to save for and we're trying to do to grow the channel. If you feel so inclined that you would like to do a little bit of something there, great. That is not something I expect. It is just a list that's for us to keep track of all the things we're trying to do. If you feel like you've gotten something out of the channel, you're welcome to go down there and bless us with the next piece of kitchen gear that helps us continue to do these recipes for you. I'm gonna turn this on to a medium heat here, and we're gonna get this started heating up, and we're gonna make Texas toast, and then I'm gonna make a grilled cheese sandwich, and we're gonna see what this bread will do.
Now I'm excited.
Texas toast, and this is just the easiest way. We just melt some butter into the pan and bread, slide that around and soak up that butter. Okay, take that out of there, add a little more butter.
Ah, well, would you look at that? That looks pretty brown and toasty to me.
Once this is done frying up here, we'll give you guys a little close-up. I'll bring it up next to the camera.
I love things like toast and sandwiches and grilled cheeses. I feel like that's what I grew up eating.
Sure.
So it's like a very nostalgic food. To have an option that actually would be like a actual bread substitute that,
Right.
without the carbs, that's awesome. What?
I'm gonna bring this up and show you guys. Does that look like Texas toast to you? Because it looks like Texas toast to me. Dig in.
That's really good. It's actually crispy. The butter, still no egg flavor, other than just like a buttery, crunchy flavor. Oh man.
You know how many different sandwiches we can now start to do?
Today's a good day.
Well, speaking of classic sandwiches we can do, while you're enjoying the Texas toast, I'm gonna go ahead and make you a grilled cheese sandwich. How long has it been since we've done a grilled cheese sandwich?
I don't even know.
So I'm gonna go with a more of a medium low because we don't want to toast it too much before we can actually get the cheese melting.
French toast.
I think you guys are really going to be surprised when you see how it is I'm making this, because it's not that far away from what a lot of other people have done, and yet it's completely different than what everyone else has done. It's really good stuff. All right, more butter, and we're going to flip it over.
Oh yeah.
Y'all, all I can say is that grilled cheese is back on the menu.
Hear the crunch.
A little cheese pull going on there. Grilled cheese sandwich. Very hot, be careful.
Stop. So good. That is so good.
That is childhood on a plate. Y'all, this white bread loaf is absolutely amazing, and it does more than I could have ever dreamed that it would do. You guys have been requesting it for a long time. Let me show you guys how we finally make carnivore white bread. All right, so here's all of our ingredients to make carnivore white bread. I have 4 eggs separated, whites in one bowl and yolks in the other. I also have 2 large mixing bowls, one for the whites and one for the mixture with the yolks. This is 3/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream, very cold. I have 1 teaspoon of instant yeast. It's optional, but it's great for flavor. This is 1.5 tablespoons of unflavored beef gelatin. Any unflavored gelatin will work. This is 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. This is 7 tablespoons of egg white powder, split 4 and 3. Make sure to remember which is which. Right here I have 4 tablespoons, and then over here I have 3, and those tablespoons are pretty tightly packed. And if you'd like to see how I modify all of these ingredients in this recipe to make these beautiful hoagie style rolls, go over to Southern Keto's channel and watch us make Philly cheesesteaks. I used these to make carnivore Philly cheesesteaks over on his channel. I'm going to link that down below. First thing we're going to do is pour our egg whites into a large mixing bowl that is very clean. I wiped it out with white vinegar to make sure there is no trace of fat or egg yolk of any kind. Next, I'm going to add the 3 heaping tablespoons of egg white powder in on top of those egg whites. I'm just going to use my whisk to stir this around a little bit to begin combining it so that it does not fluff up when I turn on the mixer. That looks good, so off to the mixer we go. So now we're going to turn on the mixer on low and then up to high, and we're going to begin beating these egg whites. While those egg whites are starting to mix up, I'm going to put 3/4 of a cup of very cold cream into the other bowl. Then we'll take a moment to scrape down the sides of the egg white bowl just to make sure there are no clumps stuck to the side, and then we can turn this back on high. Once we get close to stiff peaks, we're going to turn this off and go ahead and add our 1 teaspoon of baking soda directly on top, and then we'll whisk that in. Then we'll scrape down the sides just to make sure everything is well combined, turn it on one more time, and make sure we whip all the way to stiff peaks. I'm going to use my hand mixer and whip this cream into a soft whipped cream texture. Start on low, increase it up to high, and let's make some whipped cream. Apparently my sous chef thinks she gets the day off. Once we get to this very soft whipped cream texture that's still a little liquidy, we're going to sprinkle our gelatin back and forth over the surface to avoid clump. Then we're going to turn the mixer on low and beat that in to make sure we don't have any chunks of gelatin. And this will very quickly then thicken up into a whipped cream texture. Once we get this whipped cream texture that sticks to the whisk, we're going to go ahead and add in our egg yolks, our instant yeast if you're using that, the white vinegar, and 4 heaping tablespoons of egg white powder. Now we're going to start mixing this together on low so it doesn't fluff up too bad, and then we can turn it up on high and mix this just until the clumps disappear. We want to keep this as fluffy as possible, but we want to make sure to get rid of all of the lumps of egg white powder. Make sure to scrape down the sides of the bowl to avoid any chunks of egg white powder ending up in your final product. And then gently mix that in one more time on a medium setting just for a few seconds. Now let's combine these two mixtures together. Take 1/3 of your egg white fluff and put it on top of the whipped cream mixture. Stir this together vigorously to make sure it is very well combined. Then we add the other 2/3 of our egg whites on top of the whipped cream mixture. And this we're going to much more gently fold. We cut through the middle, fold over the top gently. Cut through the middle, fold over the top gently. Keep doing this and rotating the bowl as gently as possible, keeping as much fluff in it as you can until all the white streaks are gone. I'm going to link this silicone bread pan down below. It does an amazing job, but you need some kind of bread pan, and we are going to grease this with lard. And now we add our fluffy mixture directly into our well-greased bread pan. You can fill this over the top edge. This mixture is not going to spill out. And I'm just going to smooth over the top. It doesn't really matter that much, but it just makes me feel better to try. Now we're going to place this bread loaf into a 325-degree oven for 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, this is what you're going to see, but we need to leave this in the oven a little longer to make sure it doesn't fall. Leave your oven door barely cracked. Then turn off the oven and leave that oven door cracked for another 45 minutes. After a 45-minute cool down period, it's time to take our bread loaf out of the oven. We're going to carefully remove this from the silicone bread pan just like that, and look, no falling, no sinking, nothing. Let this cool to room temperature, flip it upside down so it's easier to slice, and slice yourself a bread loaf to have with whatever you want. All right, guys, there you go. That's the secret to making carnivore white bread that's not too spongy, that's not too much like a styrofoam sort of a thing, actually soft, fluffy. It's such a cool technique, guys. This is something that is actually done to make cakes. They use flour in it, but they use whipped cream and the egg whites just like I did, and then they use flour and they bind it together and they make cakes. And it's kind of like an angel food cake. And so I saw that and I thought there's got to be a way to apply this to the carnivore diet. Here we go. This is how we do it. So grilled cheese, Texas toast, any kind of other sandwich you can possibly think of, it's all back on the menu. Also, if you want to see me make this in the baguette shape that you saw, make sure to go down to the description box and click on that link to go over to Victor at Southern Keto, because I used this recipe, modified it, and turned it into more of a baguette shape or like a hoagie roll, and we did these amazing carnivore Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. And the only place you're gonna see where those are at is over on Victor's channel. So go show Victor some love. He and I are really good friends, and I appreciate him letting me go on his channel and provide another cool way to use this bread for you guys with a fun recipe. So go check out his stuff, give him a thumbs up and a subscribe while you're there. Show him some Chris Cookin' Nashville love. I think that's all we have for you guys today. Miss Ash is gonna finish up the grilled cheese. We're going to pack the rest of this bread up so that we can enjoy some sandwiches and some amazing things with white bread. Totally carnivore friendly this week. Thank you guys for watching. All my links are down below as always. I love every single one of you. Please share this video and tell people carnivore white bread can taste absolutely amazing just like this does. We can't wait to see what else we can do for you guys soon. This is Chris Cookin' Nashville, my lovely wife Ash Taylor. Guys, make sure to eat your meat, especially if it looks like bread and a grilled cheese sandwich. Love your life, and we're gonna see you right here in the kitchen for the next crazy recipe.
Oh, I'm so happy right now. You're lucky I shared with you. I'm just eating the whole thing. Ah.